Only thing keeping America running right now is military power. If you look at the Roman Empire, before they collapsed, they went on a war spree. They went on a war spree to save their empire.
Yep.
So once your innovation is dead, right? Once your civilization is stupid, which is, look at America, bro. Fucking dumb fucks everywhere. Now, the only way to sustain your society is through brute force.
Yeah.
So build the biggest army, the baddest army, and then go fight for freedom in different countries that are trying to rebel against you. So whether it's Afghanistan, Libya, or whatever these countries are, just say, hey, we got weapons of mass destruction in that country. Let's go invade, nuke their currency, and make sure that, take their resources and make sure that America can keep running the scam a few more years.
Don't forget to pay your taxes this year. Israel and Ukraine are depending on it.
You ever wonder why you're out of energy and you always feel like crap? Well, chances are it's because of one of these places. Nobody has any idea of the pesticides, preservatives, wax coatings, artificial dyes, and GMOs, you guessed it, that live in a place like this. Just a place full of indoctrinated zombies that are taught to be consumers from a very young age, so they don't even question anything that they think. Nothing is made with quality anymore. Every single piece of quality is sacrificed in the name of profit for big corporate companies. You eat one of them donuts and you consume 83 ingredients. Oh, look at this. On every end cap is just propaganda and drama to distract you away from everything that's actually happening. The reason why I'm talking like this is because I'm confident. I've been awakened, and this looks real different to everybody else that's sleeping. One of these rotisserie chickens used to be in a torture chamber until it was executed in a small confined space, then to be fed to all of us. I'm about to walk into the fresh produce section. Apples, when they're grown on a tree like the ones in my backyard, they have a natural waxy coating. Certainly not as waxy as this. This is a chemical pesticide that is applied on top of the natural waxy coating of an apple. Speaking of pesticides, every single one of these produces have a PLU number on them. Some claim that they're certified organic, but every single one of these verified have used systemic pesticide, either applied through the roots and grown into the plant, or topically sprayed. Just look at all of the artificial dyes that they put in all of these steaks. This is through chemical dye and artificial processing. Let me show you what a real steak looks like. This right here is certified organic. Look at the difference between these two steaks. This is what steak is supposed to look like. This is the artificial dye. All of the sausage that you see in grocery stores, they have nitrates, which are horrible for your kidneys in large quantities. Anything that is in a package like this, you can better bet there's going to be preservatives in there that are horrible for your digestive system. And guess where health comes from? It derives from your gut first. Even if you're trying to be healthy and consume things like carbonated water instead of pop, you still have to watch out for things like this. Naturally essenced. Those are chemicals. If you want a refreshment, look for something like this, that is only fruit juice. You see, it's not all bad. There are some things, if you know what to look for, that can give you more energy, better mental clarity, and better overall feeling on a daily basis.
I'm gonna need y'all to stop and pay attention. Who knew about the 6-minute long mysterious alien broadcast that happened in 1977? Y'all are gonna want to hear this. They made this message for now. Listen to this shit right here.
This is the voice of Omar, representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, speaking to you. For many years you have seen us as lights in the stars. We speak to you now to send this thing as we have done to your brothers and sisters all over this, your planet Earth. We come to warn you of the destiny of your race and your world, so that you may communicate to your fellow beings the course you must take to avoid the disaster which threatens your world and the beings on other worlds around you. This is in order that you may share in the great awakening as the planet passes into the new age of Aquarius. The new age can be a time of great peace and evolution for your race, but only your rulers are made aware of the new forces that can overshadow their judgments. Be still now and listen, for your chance may not come again. All your weapons of evil must be removed. The time for conflict is now past, and the race of which you are a part may proceed to the higher stages of its evolution, if you show yourselves worthy to do this. You have but a short time to learn to live together in peace and goodwill. Small groups all over the planet are learning this, and exist to pass on the light of the dawning new age to you all. You are free to accept the
Makes the kitchen
teachings
to one this
of
wide.
those who learn to
Many go as wide as
pass
this.
into the
Then they run out.
spiritual evolution. Here now, the voice of Rillon, representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, speaking to you. Be aware also that there are many false prophets and guides operating on your world. They will suck your energy from you, the energy you call money, and will put it to evil ends, giving you worthless dross in return.
I think y'all pretty much get the gist on what they talking about. Here go the YouTube video right here. Go watch the whole video. I promise you, y'all will not regret it. What do y'all think about Verlon's message to humanity? Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. Like or follow for more wisdom and stay tuned.
Not like nothing you've ever seen, huh?
Nothing like nothing.
It blows away anything we've seen so far.
Oh man, and the ice below us is... That's like the Grand Canyon of ice.
Yep. Like how that Earth is meeting the glacier. You see that interesting shape
Oh wow,
it's
yeah.
making? I know. Like, where are we right now? What planet is this? Just take a phone picture.
I'm just mesmerized. This is some humbling terrain.
To the Great Gorge. Though if that cloud layer wasn't there, we'd be able to see straight up to Denali. Because this is right at the edge of it.
Super smooth in here. I guess it should be. It's late at night, almost midnight. 10 minutes till midnight.
These pools of water.
Pool ice, like cold. I don't even know what I don't even know what words are anymore. I can't talk. Got a little bit of precip here.
Yeah, I see that.
Just like blown away looking up at the walls and the peaks next to us. The ice starts to go from smooth to starting to break up here. And then it's just oh man.
Holy crap, man.
I was thinking up that way.
Up this way?
Yeah.
Look at that left GoPro. Ugh, that is rad.
important one little strip of water can be, both for the economy, but also for countries who want power. Let's get back to the Suez Canal. Take a look at this canal for like 5 seconds and you realize that it's not natural. Way too straight of lines. But back before it was built, if you wanted to get from Europe to Asia, you had to sort of do this. Back then, the British controlled this little port in South Africa, which gave them a very nice strategic advantage because everyone who was doing world trade or domination had to pass through them. The British were loving this monopoly over the trade route until like the mid-1800s, when the French went to the Egyptians and they said, hey, is there any way we could like dig out a canal right here on this land bridge that connects Africa with Asia? It's almost 200 kilometers long, but if we could just dig out a canal here, we would save thousands of kilometers on each trip to Asia. Reminder, this is like the 1860s and like they don't have loads of fancy equipment to do this, but they try it anyway. With over 100,000 people, many of them forced laborers, working on this canal for over 10 years, they were able to dig this big canal that connected the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea. The British were down here still like, wait, why is no one coming through our Cape anymore? And the French were up here just laughing, feeling so good about their new canal. So over the years, quickly this becomes the epicenter of water control and balance of power. Control over the canal is mainly French and Egyptian for most of its time, but eventually the British just like couldn't help themselves. They needed in on this waterway. Fast forward a few years and all of the big powers get together and say like, whoa, 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 we built this canal with a spirit of cooperation and neutrality. All countries should be able to use this canal even in times of war. Everything will be peaceful and wonderful, and this will be one. No. They signed this treaty about like neutrality and everyone can use it, but let's just say it right now, that's not the way the world works. Soon the globe descended into World War, and it became clear that this canal would not be neutral anytime soon. Hitler wanted it, so him and his Italian allies went down to try to take it over. British fought back and they were able to keep it, and there were British troops there, so the canal remained in British control until like the 1950s, when finally Egypt was like, okay, listen, France, Britain, this has been fun, this whole pretend that this is neutral, but it's not actually neutral and you're actually just using it for whatever you want thing. You're done. It is our canal. Get out of here. And he's like, oh, and Israel, you can't come here and use our waterway either. That's part of this. So France and Britain aren't feeling super great. They just got kicked out of like their key strategic waterway. They decide to say no, and they send in a bunch of paratroopers to the Suez Canal along with Israel's fighters to recapture the canal from Egypt and to overthrow the government that just kicked them out. And the US is seeing all of this and they're like, guys, it's not 1850 anymore, okay? Times have changed. You can't just show up wherever you want and just take it over militarily. We don't do that anymore. That's so like old school empire. But the US says you can still be an empire in these times. You just have to be a little smoother about it. Good, baby, good. So the US sends in this Canadian guy to settle the conflict over the canal, and everyone's sort of like, okay, fine. And the canal goes back to peace with like some UN peacekeepers to keep it at peace. Kind of. Well, no, this isn't gonna last. So this is where the US gets it creative and is like, ooh, what can we do to not have to like fight over the canal, but like do our own thing? And that's when the nuclear bombs come up, where they're like, if we just plant 520 nuclear bombs here in the Israeli desert, we could just have our own canal and then we don't have to fight over this one. So it's 1967 and Israel's like, I'm not super into the idea of you like nuking our desert, but we like nuclear weapons and we'll totally get on board with that. In the meantime, can we go in and attack Egypt ourselves and get the canal, and you can just sort of back us from the sidelines? And the US is like, okay, fine.
Whether or not in Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region.
So Israel goes in and takes over all of this land, all the way up to the Suez Canal. So it's Egypt on one side, Israel on the other. And for the next few years, this becomes a literal battleground for multiple wars. Like they were building bridges across the canal to like bring in tanks and fight. Oh, and of course, during these years of fighting from like the late 60s to the mid 70s, the canal was closed for obvious reasons. The problem is when they closed it, there were 15 ships that were like in process of moving through, and those ships just got stuck there for literally 8 years. So yeah, Ever Given, we know that it was a hard few days. how the world was super worried about you, $400 million a day. Imagine being one of these guys. 8 years. At least they had fun during their time, I guess. Okay, do you see where I'm going with this? What I'm trying to do here is not give you a history lesson of the Suez Canal. I'm trying to explain that this stretch of water has always been a magnet for international conflict. Ever since its very, very conception. After that last war, the US is like, okay, broker a peace, they broker a peace, and then they bring in these helicopters to the Suez Canal with like a water sled behind them, and they drag them along the water because there was a bunch of like live explosives from the wars, and they were trying to like rid them all so that they could resume, you know, like normal shipping lanes. They eventually did that, they got rid of all the explosives and reopened the canal in 1975, and the canal remained peaceful and under the control of its rightful owner, the Egyptians, forevermore, and there was no more conflict or geopolitical scheming ever again. No, that isn't the way the world works. Yes, things have changed in the way that we do it. But the fact is, when you have a system like this, and a large portion of that system, which is money and control and economics and energy, runs through a choke point in that system, there will always be geostrategic value that is put on that system, not just for economics, but for power. So do you think that the United States, who's sort of the big boy world policeman right now, would sit here and let Egypt control the chokehold where 12% of the world economy passes through, including loads of oil? No, that's not how it works. Despite the fact that Egypt is a non-democratic regime that is pretty terrible on all fronts, including human rights, the US still provides $1.4 billion of military aid to Egypt every year. They are always considered a key ally in the Middle East. I mean, the Clinton administration made it very clear that the reason we support Egypt is because they have the Suez Canal and we need them to owe us favors. That continues today. Whenever a US military vessel shows up to the Suez Canal, they get to cut in line and go through quicker than everybody else. So yeah, Egypt owns the canal, but really it's the US behind the scenes that is keeping everything in order. The canal is not neutral, it will never be neutral, there will always be geopolitical importance placed on it. And as long as there's a superpower, that superpower will control the canal. The last thing I'll say here is that we live in a world that is very strange for how peaceful it is. We've had an enduring peace for many, many decades. That peace allows us to have a system like this. And that peace exists partly because we are so entangled with one another economically that it doesn't make sense to go to war. But we have to remember that that peace also exists because all the big powers have really big weapons that are always pointed at each other. If something slips or escalates a little too far, just remember that the Suez Canal isn't the only choke point on Earth where all of this system flows through. And that while we take peace for granted now, it would be naive not to wonder what happens if that were to go away and we were faced with not just one ship being stuck for a few days, but an entire region militarized and unavailable for this type of shipping flow that we're so used to.
The Ben Gurion Canal project, alternatively known as the Israeli Canal or Palestinian Canal, is an ambitious proposal to construct a waterway through Israel. The canal would connect the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea, serving as a competitor to Egypt's Suez Canal, which currently sees the passage of 12% of the world's trade and 10% of global oil distribution. The project is estimated to cost between $16 billion to $55 billion and would span approximately 182 miles or 293 kilometers, making it nearly one-third longer than the existing Suez Canal. The idea of constructing an alternative to the Suez Canal has been discussed for decades. Named after Israel's founding father and first Prime Minister, Ben Gurion, the canal aims to address the various disruptions that have plagued the Suez Canal, including blockages and prolonged closures. The proposed route for the Ben Gurion Canal would start at the Gulf of Aqaba near the port city of Eilat on the Israeli-Jordanian border. It would then traverse the Arabah Valley for about 100 kilometers between the Negev Mountains and the Jordanian highlands. The canal would turn westward before reaching the Dead Sea Basin and continue through a valley in the Negev mountain range. Finally, it would curve northward the Gaza Strip and link up with the Mediterranean Sea. Clearly, the canal would offer similar advantages to the Suez Canal. Proposal has generated significant interest and debate given its potential impact on global trade and geopolitical dynamics. This is particularly noteworthy when considering the economic stakes involved. For context, the Suez Canal reported a record annual revenue of $9.4 billion for the fiscal year ending on June 30th,
The RFID portal, which we're showing here today, is to show how a customer can take all the items in their shopping basket and put it into the portal and read all the items within a few seconds and do payment and leave the store without any stopping at the checkout lane. The benefit to the customer is not having to take the items out of the basket, scan them, put them back in the basket, and bag them. Everything is done at one time while the items are in the cart.
Three-dimensional holograms you can hear and even feel. They call their device the acoustic trap display. Essentially, it's using sound to manipulate a tiny particle that traces out these images. Here's how it works. The display is made up of an array of small ultrasound speakers that produce sound waves, LED lighting, and a 2mm bead. The sound waves keep the bead suspended in midair, and they can manipulate the bead's position. The bead moves around the display too fast for our eyes to see, so what we see is a 3D image. And remember, this is genuinely a three-dimensional image. It doesn't just appear to have depth. That means it can be viewed from any angle. Now, believe it or not, this tech is actually inspired by old-school TVs. You may not be old enough to remember CRT televisions, but they created images with a single color beam that scanned across the screen so quickly, our brains registered them as a single image. Another point worth noting, Nature reporter Lizzie Gibney saw this acoustic display up close. She said the images don't flicker in real life like they do on video. But here's where it gets really cool. The speakers can also make the bead vibrate to produce different sound waves, which means these images can freaking talk.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Now, I can't be the only one who immediately started thinking about Princess Leia sending a distress call to Obi-Wan when I saw that. If that doesn't blow your mind, we're not done yet. The ultrasound waves can also generate tactile feedback, meaning you could essentially feel the flutter of the butterfly's wings. And it's true, we're still a long way off from the holodecks we all know and love in the Star Trek universe, but there's no other volumetric display that can produce touch the way this one can. And the researchers behind it say the ability to manipulate matter without actually touching it opens up a ton of other opportunities. For example, you could mix chemicals without the risk of human contamination, or even manipulate human tissue to better deliver life-saving drugs. Scientists say a future version of this device could include multiple beads, making for a more detailed image.
Guys, I'm babysitting and I just found the creepiest thing. Look at this. What is that? Oh my god. No, but what is it? It's so creepy. It's freaking me out. Is this real hair? Oh my god. And look. Ugh. Guys, I just came in to make dinner and look what I found. Oh my gosh! It's a boy this time. Oh my god. Why would you, look at that. Why would anyone have this in their house? Honestly, it's the creepiest thing I've ever seen. Oh my god, it has another bell. Oh my god. Guys, guess who I am? The light started going insane. Let me show you. Okay, wait for it because it was literally just happening a second ago. Max? Better not be out of bed. Okay, I think I'm just gonna get him and go because it's really freaking me out.
America, You must negotiate a ceasefire right now in Gaza, or else there will be severe consequences. Is that supposed to be a threat? Tell him, Florida. Oh, listen up here, Billy Baghdad. You're a whole lot better jumping into shark-infested waters wearing a pair of pork chop panties than you are fucking with us. That's not even the same country. Ah, shit, I'll let it ride. Psst! Iran! You promised! We expected to deal with Israel, but the US being here has made it more complicated. Don't you think I know this? Damn, Iran. It must suck when somebody's better at chess than you. You spend all this time not officially, can't see my quotes, I forgot. Not officially giving anything to Hezbollah and Hamas. And then I show up and I cut off these terrorist supply lines. And now they can't get any help from you. That's real unfortunate. And before you decide to get froggy, I just Googled it. You have 334 combat aircraft. I have over 450 F-35s alone. That, coupled with the fact that right now there's an Ohio-class submarine somewhere near your country that throws more Tomahawks than the most recent Ranger promo. On a completely unrelated note, not pertaining to the US's defense budget, Israel, I heard that you were the first country ever to engage in space combat. There was aliens here? I can see why you don't give that one to anybody else. But no, they shot down a missile that was exo-atmospheric using their Arrow system. Houthi rebels in Yemen. They shoot at everybody here. How about we start talking safety and security? Gaza will have security when Hamas is finished. Real talk though, that statement went hard as fuck. Anyways, Iran, look, you keep attacking my bases. There's like 80 of them, you guys and your friends, the ones who wear sandals and run around yelling about death to America. Yeah, those guys. They've been attacking my shit pretty regularly. I'm trying to be nice. I've only authorized 2 bombing runs. But you guys are testing me. I would never supply any of the terrorist organizations near me. You realize I have like entire departments whose sole purpose in life is to figure out where debris and weapons come from, right? Like, you might as well have a stamp on the side of it that says made in Iran. Oh, and North Korea. I didn't see that one coming. Let me out there, fat son bitch. I'm gonna swell his eyes closed the rest of the way. Jesus, Florida. I need you to roll it back to like a 6, bro. You're at like an 11 right now. Oh, side note. Buff, I heard Chinese planes got real close to you, man. You good? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I've been in some real hairy situations. Like this one time in the 70s, there was this Playboy playmate. Stop. For the love of God and the future of my creative career, do not finish that statement. Also, America, I know we're not officially preparing for anything, but I happen to notice that you have a Marine unit that cancelled their birthday ball. Oh, crap. Oh, shit. Yes. Oh, that is not good. Shit. Right then. Oh, fucking hell there, bud. What is everybody talking about? I don't get it. Well, there's really only one thing in this world U.S. Marines love more than their birthday. But I'm sure they just canceled it for administrative scheduling purposes, or maybe somebody got sick. I don't know.
Nope. This is not fake. And glowing green liquid is bubbling and steaming out of sewers across the U.S., and people are panicking. Citizens of New York have woken up terrified, screaming radioactive liquid after several spots near the World Trade Center were seen with glow in the dark toxic green sludge everywhere, with the federal safety officials saying that if largely ingested or inhaled, can cause serious cancers. And many people are scared after seeing viral videos showing it bubbling into steam into the air. There were also people with others scared, saying it is flooding the sidewalks, and it appeared to be leaking into their apartment floors. This was also spotted in Michigan on the highway, and health officials completely blocked off the road, saying that they fear what it could do if there's any physical contact with the liquid. After several videos went viral, a New York City Transit spokesperson came out to talk about how the sludge is best to avoid. However, it has not infiltrated anything that causes any concern. The sludge is said to contain lots of antifreeze and dye, which is used by plumbers to quickly identify leaks. So toxic, yes. Radioactive, no.
Responders have communicated that a plume is heading towards the Livingston area. This is Polk County. Polk County Emergency Management recommends that residents along U.S. Highway 59, so if this is you, please listen up, from Goodrich to Leggett, shelter in place and turn off HVAC systems in homes and businesses, and this is the word, immediately. At this time, the effects of the chemical in the air are unknown. And this is very important information here. And as Tammy, we know that Sky will have to refuel in just a few minutes, but as we continue to look at this shot, this is just incredible. I mean, to know where we started, right, with this explosion, which was not small, but certainly smaller than what we're seeing right here.
It continues to grow. It
does.
really is surprising to me. Tammy, we only have you for a little longer. You've covered these before, but no plant fire is exactly the same, of course. What is standing out to you about this, perhaps compared to some of the other, and there have been some big ones?
Yeah, I mean, the winds right now, because they're out of the south, 1,000 feet high at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So that's why that huge, thick plume of smoke is blowing into other communities, and they're giving those advisories. Again, you can see the East Tex Freeway there. And as you mentioned, all of the first responders at a nearby gas station. I haven't seen any water being put on this quite yet. Again, a thick, huge plume of smoke billowing up into the air. We're 1,000 feet high, and look at how high that goes. Jacob, Samika?
Wow, just incredible here. And we should mention our producer, Esther, you said a shelter in place for Livingston as well now? Livingston also has a shelter in place. So that means San Jacinto, Polk County, and Livingston also has a shelter in place. And we're asking everybody to please take this very seriously. And Polk County put it pretty well here. The Polk County Office of Emergency Management saying that they are asking people to shelter in place homes and businesses if you're along Highway 59 from Goodrich to Leggett, to shelter in place and turn off HVAC systems in homes and businesses. And here's what's interesting here. They say do this immediately because they don't know what's burning. They don't know what these chemicals are in the air.
And the map here showing where the shelter in place should be is pretty wide. Initially, it was a 5-mile shelter in place.
Yeah.
And we know, to me, one of the more interesting and maybe surprising tidbits here is how the private school children who were already there had to be evacuated, and they were staying at the business, and how it's now expanded to include all of these other areas. This area here on the map that the OEM here in Polk County has put out is much, much bigger than those initial 5 miles. And to turn off your HVAC system immediately, initial 5 miles, and to turn off your HVAC system immediately is such a key piece of information.
It really is. And we want to mention it is 10:10 right now. You are looking at live pictures here. We have breaking news this hour. A massive, and I do mean massive, fire at a petroleum processing plant in San Jacinto County. This is along FM 1127. It's near Highway 59. There is a shelter in place order from the San Jacinto Office of Emergency Management, but also the Polk County Office of Emergency Management, and we have just learned that Livingston has also put a shelter in place. And you mentioned it was 5 miles, a 5-mile radius earlier, but that is certainly extending. Our Tammy Rose has been in Sky Eye for the last hour or so, showing us this, or maybe even 2. We started on the stream, just on the stream, telling you about this. In fact, you were on the stream talking about it, Jacob.
Yeah, and we got this viewer video at about the same time. We have to look at it and make sure this is current video. It is. Look, there appears to be a home there. There in front of the fire, and this is, if I had to guess, 1.5 miles from where it started. And this is about the time, too, that Charlie Etzedy was getting a call from the mother of a student at a private school there who they were on their way to school when they redirected.
Yeah. I mean, and if you don't mind, Charlie is still in here, and Charlie's actually working. I can see her working on her laptop right now, you know, trying to field some calls and emails. But Charlie, talk about that. You talked to a parent, a very nervous parent.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could just hear it in her voice talking to her earlier this morning. She was still shaken up over what they witnessed on their way to school. So this mom says that she was with her daughter at the time and that they were actually headed to a private school that is located down that same road where this explosion happened. And so she said that it doesn't sound like they were necessarily there when it actually exploded, but obviously they realized something bad was happening when they saw the smoke. And then she said they saw employees running from the scene, and one of them actually asked her if he could get in the back of their truck truck so he could get to safety. And so she let him jump in, and then they drove, it sounds like, closer back to 59. They didn't obviously want to go down to their school. And she just said that it was terrifying. I mean, you know, just seeing something like that happen, and then obviously, surely the employees just, you know, fearful, trying to get to safety. And so she said that she was very nervous about, you know, the friends, the family, the people that they know at the school. And she said that, you know, she was just hoping for the best and that nobody was injured. And of course, we haven't received any updates on that end of things quite yet. But according to some posts I've been seeing on Facebook, it does look like that private school was able to be evacuated to a different building. And it doesn't sound like there were any injuries over there. So a little bit of good news this morning. But obviously, this thing is, you know, growing by the second and getting larger and larger. So obviously, just very terrifying what this mom and her daughter saw on their way to school this morning.
Ladies' night turns into a paranormal nightmare. They are playing lights on, lights off.
When the lights are off, you can't move when the lights are on. You have 5 moves to get to me. Are you ready? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. You have 5 moves to get to me. Oh.
What?
Oh my God.
Turn the light
Hang on, Ari. Something fell, right?
Yeah, it was sitting right here. Was it?
And it just fell off? Okay.
Fell? No, that's how this flew off. There's no way
It was
this
here?
fell. Feel how heavy this
I
is.
don't know.
Yes,
Oh,
wow. It was sitting right here. Did you touch that?
No, she didn't touch it.
I don't know. That's, I don't know. Maybe it was like... Wait. What? Was that already
Why is that
moving?
Oh my God. You guys. What the hell?
That was okay.
So
what? No.
What the
cat
was? Oh my God.
Oh my God. What is...
Follow for more scary videos.
What? What is it?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What is that?
What are you talking about?
Oh my God, what is that? What is that? What is that? What is that?
What?
Right there! Oh my God, what?
What is it? What, Kelly?
What? 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 Babe, what?
Oh my God! What? Oh my God! Oh my God!
What? What?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Hey!
Casey? What are you doing?
Breaking news! Scientists have recently made a groundbreaking discovery. An immense ocean lies beneath the Earth's surface, surpassing the combined size of all our oceans on land. To elaborate further, this ocean is located in an astonishing 400 miles below the Earth's crust and resides within a peculiar blue rock cold. Ringwoodite is not merely a liquid, solid, or gas, but rather a distinct molecular structure of water concealed within the rocky mantle. The scientists stumbled upon this revelation while analyzing wave patterns, which revealed the presence of water beneath the surface. By calculating the speed of these waves, researchers were able to ascertain the type of rocks that contain the water, ultimately leading them to identify ringwoodite as the host. Remarkably, their investigations unveiled that ringwoodite can hold up to 1.5 of its weight in water. The immensity of this unknown realm surpasses our reach, dwarfing even the vast expanse of oceans on our terrestrial domain. An astounding notion, unveiling its secrets, could furnish scientists with vital clues about the origins of our planet, bolstering the hypothesis that Earth's water originated internally rather than being delivered by celestial bodies like asteroids and comets. Rest assured, I shall provide regular updates on this fascinating development.
Holy shit. Look. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. This is ridiculous. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my god, I need to get the other camera going. Fuck. This is insane. And we're getting a corona. What? Where do I look? Where do I point the camera? Oh my god. Holy shit. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Down by Melbu. By Melbu. Yeah. No, not Melbu. Marlborough, down towards the tunnel on the left. Marlborough? I don't know. Attention, Gogo, je filme. Merde, putain, j'ai pas mon téléphone.
Because there are some beautiful things in the Holy Bible which we also need to be preoccupied with. Not just, oh, it's the end. What's going to happen? Is China coming? Is Russia coming? Is America coming? Who cares? They can do whatever they want. I'm with my sweetheart, Jesus. My sweetheart, the Lord Jesus. I don't care about America, Russia, China, what they do. Man, they can do whatever they want to do. They want to send a nuclear rocket here? Please do. Today before tomorrow, I want to go and meet my sweetheart Jesus. What am I doing in this filthy world? Filthy world. Humanity has made the world filthy because they rejected God, Christ the King, and embraced Satan. The people of the world have destroyed the world by following Satan. They became slaves. Slaves. They call the light darkness, and they call darkness the light. Amazing. Amazing. Amazing, my beloveds. Hold on to the Lord Jesus and say, Lord, I'm coming today as Paul. I'm empty. Fill me with your Holy Spirit, because I want to see my errors. When the light shines, all my filth is seen very clear in the light. When I saw all my filth, I started crying, mourning. I said, Lord, forgive me. When I mourned with tears, the Lord came and comforted me with His Holy Spirit. He said, I love you, and I will never stop loving you. Forever I will love you. All I want from you is just come back and say sorry. I will fix you up. I'll make you a new creation once again. I am God. What is impossible to man is possible to God. When I realized His love, His genuineness, His awesome person, what happened then? I became meek. I deposited my spirit in his hand, and I snored it off, knowing for sure I am in safe hands. No one can snatch me from the hand of my Heavenly Father. And Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, says, I and the Father are one. The one who died and rose from the dead for me, he and the Father are one. And no one takes anything from the hand of my Father. So now I am in safe hands. I can sleep with absolute ease and peace. When I became this confident in the Lord, I started becoming hungry and thirsty for every godly deed, righteousness. Because the more I did good deeds, the more I was filled and fulfilled. And the more we do evil deeds, the more we are empty. Like a barren land, desolate. Every time we do something wrong, we wake up the following day feeling miserable, absolutely lost, empty. But you go and do a good deed, you feel so filled and enriched. So filled and enriched. So many people became so rich, so famous, yet they killed themselves. They committed suicide.
Listen, did you know that there are only 2 escalators in the entire state of Wyoming? Now you do.